Hello and welcome to today's live. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to shift your money mindset blockages because we all have them, or the majority of us have them. We either think we're not worthy, we'll never afford that special thing we want to buy, or we're just never going to get to where we want to be. So we have these mental stories that we tell ourselves day in and day out. And the more you tell yourself these stories, the more those pathways in your mind are going to be reinforced. They're going to be really just extra powerful inside your memory, basically. Your mind is made up of all these little neurons and they're all firing. And think about neural pathways. And think about when you're going to get into school as a kid, there was always someone walking across the field on a certain path, and every day they would walk across that path. That path would get a little bit deeper and a little bit more worn away. And think of the same thing in your brain. Your brain is full of neural pathways, and the more that you reinforce these neural pathways, the stronger they fit, the stronger they become. So when you're learning something new, the more you do things, the more you repeat things, then the more these neural pathways become embedded in your psyche, and the more that you keep doing these things. So if every day you're telling yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, oh, I'll never earn that, I'll never do this, then you're just going to keep reinforcing that self detrimental belief system. And the key is you have to try and rewire your brain. You've got to try and rewrite your scripts to remove those neural pathways that I'm not good enough, I couldn't earn that, how could I possibly charge that much, how can I do this, how can I do that? All these negative thoughts and feelings, they're wiring your brain. And if you want to rewire your brain, you have to start having new thoughts and new feelings. And you even have to start taking yourself into new environments. The main reason why we feel like life speeds up as you get older and how days seem to go faster is because you're doing the same things day in and day out. And your brain has this very clever way of just basically just ignoring things that it doesn't need to take any notice of because it's the same as it has been every day. It's like if you're sitting in an environment and there's a bad smell that comes along, your brain automatically filters it out. So after a short period of time, you can't smell it anymore. But if someone new comes into that environment, they're like, "Oof, what's that smell?" And it's gone from your olfactory senses. So much like life, your brain's filtering all these things out. And so what you focus on the most is what really gets etched into your brain. So if something new comes along that's new and exciting and you take notice of it, then that gets taken, then you take notice of it, and that's when your brain's like, oh, okay, so this is what's happening today. So you might go through in a whole day and not remember a single thing apart from something new that you did or something different. So when it comes to your money mindset beliefs, if you're telling yourself the whole time, "Oh, I'm not worth that. I'm not. I've not got enough experience. I've not got enough abilities. I need to be this. I need to be that." If you keep telling yourself these stories, you're going to keep reinforcing them. So what you have to do is basically keep telling yourself, "I am worthy. I am worth that. I will get more." And if you can't quite tell yourself that, add the word "yet" to it. So I may not be able to afford that yet. Instead of I can't afford that. I can't afford that yet. Okay? So really start putting these things in place and telling yourself the right stories. Now, daily affirmations, mantras, they're all really powerful, but only if you keep using them. You have to keep going. You have to keep doing it. You have to really keep reprogramming and reprogramming. It takes weeks to form a habit, to get your body to respond to what you really want it to do. And when your body starts to respond, then your mind really starts to respond. Because actually 80% of all the signals that are sent around in your body are from your body to your brain. Just 20% go from the brain to the body. So when you're trying to reprogram your mind, a lot of it comes from your body, your physicality, how you sit, how you feel, how you act. And when you're trying to reprogram your mind into doing these things, into having these new thought processes, you want to try and do new things. You want to try and do new actions, new gestures, new dances. Go out and learn a new skill. Go out and try going for a walk in places you've never walked before. And when you're there, try thinking things you've never thought before. Because the only way you can change is by thinking new things and doing new things. And this is the fundamental flaw that everybody has when they're trying to break through into new changes, new lives, new beginnings, is that you do the same old thing, you think the same old thoughts, you get the same old patterns, you just repeat, and then you fall back into your same old habits. It's why New Year's resolutions never work, because you're just doing the same old thing and hoping that you don't fall back into your old habits. I've been exceptionally fortunate to have moved to Ibiza in the last couple of years, and since moving, my whole life has changed. My way I think, the way I act, the way I behave, everything's changed massively. So, and all of that is due to the huge shift in my environment. So the key is you've got to change a lot of things to be able to change the way you think. But just by simply writing down the gratitude you have towards money, the fact that you really love what you do, you'll talk about who you are as a person and really have gratitude for everything that you are, everything that you do. And bring all of that together to write out your mantras and write out a new story. And you want to keep telling yourself that story. One great thing you can do is you can use a phone. And I don't know if you can see this, but I have a background on my phone, which is my daily mantra. And my daily mantra is, I am abundant in all things in my life: love, health, wealth, happiness, spirituality, peace, and serenity. You know, and I tell myself this, the background. I tell myself this all the time, to reprogram myself into having that positive, that happy mindset, that really focused mindset. And it really does take time. It's not something that happens overnight. Shifting your mindset really is difficult. And many of us don't think we're worth it. And especially in the spiritual community, there's a lot of people who feel, that you shouldn't charge people for your services. How can I charge someone? I'm supposed to be helping them. I'm supposed to be healing them. But yeah, but you have to eat too. This is what you've got to think about, is that you have to have a living too. And if you are going to be a healer and earn money from it, then you need to charge what you're worth. And if you don't charge what you're worth, you're not going to be able to make a living, and you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. And you're much better to earn well and be able to heal more people than not be earning, maybe having to do a side job, not be able to dedicate as much time to helping and healing people. And actually then you're doing them a disservice. Many times I get told, well, if I charge too much, people who need me won't be able to afford me. Yes, they will. This is a self-limiting belief. If somebody really needs your services, they will find the money, no matter what. And you can also do things like what we do here at Holistic Serenity. We have free online meditations. We have low-cost online group circles and one-off events and distant healings and things that are a cheaper alternative to face-to-face events, face-to-face treatments, one-on-ones. You know, there's all sorts of ways that you can give people who need your help a cheaper alternative and still be able to help them just as well. So you've got to stop thinking these negative thoughts by changing your thought patterns, changing the way you act and behave, even if it's just going for a walk in a different direction. Like if you commute to work every day, just take a different route. Try and change things up a bit and try and change how you think, because if you don't change those, then nothing will change. You have to keep those things changing, because if you don't, it's you are not hiding to nothing. You're never going to change. The problem with our brains is that we have these pathways, and once they're set in stone, you have to work really hard to change them. You can change them. Anything is changeable. It really is powerful that you have the power to do that. But you need to put in the effort, and you need to actually make that physical change and change the way you think in order to change your behaviors and change your patterns. Even if you just do a small increment every day, small incremental changes compound, and they really do have a massive impact. So I hope you've enjoyed my little talk today. It's just an idea to really help get out of your comfort zone, because this is another big thing that I neglected to mention, is that actually when you start thinking new things and you start thinking differently, you get a bit uncomfortable because you're into the realms of the unknown. You're doing things that you haven't done before. And when we do things we haven't done before, we become uncomfortable because that's the unknown. And the fear of the unknown is one of the biggest fears that we all get challenged by. So when we get into that uncomfortable space, we're very quick and easy to want to go back to comfortability and go back to where we feel like we know what we're doing or a bit more comfortable. But I urge you to stick it out and stay there in that comfortable zone, because if you can do that, then you'll definitely see a huge improvement in things, and you will start to see things change. But you've just got to make yourself comfortable with being uncomfortable if you really want to see changes and if you really want to change that mindset. So thank you for watching today. I hope you found something useful in today's Money Mindset Talk. Please do give us a like and subscribe, or whatever, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on one of the other channels. We thank you very much for your time today, and please do leave me some questions in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can if you have any questions. So have a great day, everyone, and take care.